probably the seed of a lot of our arguments was because I was so hell-bent on being this independent woman that I had been raised to be, being in a house of all women, and we took care of stuff. If a refrigerator needed to be moved, there was no daddy to call to move. We moved the refrigerator. When he would be like, let me just move that, and he would take his time to get to it, oh, I done already moved it. I'm not about to wait on you for this. So
it might not be moved right.
But I moved
replace
it.
The refrigerator. Floor scarred up, but it's moved.
But it was moved. I am no damsel in distress.
So being a woman who was once wildly independent, because I had brothers, so they would move the refrigerator. But a lot of the stuff that we did in our house, we did on our own. My mom did it. And not just the house, just in life in general. Like, you had to figure that thing out. So it is kind of like, I dropped that wall and I asked you to do something and you taking too long to do it. And I had to be vulnerable to ask you and you taking too long. So you know what? Don't even worry about it. I got it. It's all right. I can do it myself. I feel like that with the boys' haircuts. I low-key be wanting to take them to go get their haircut because
you're not going to do that.
Because you be taking your time. Cut the hair. And then in my mind, I'd be like, you know what? Don't even worry about it because I'm about to find a barber. I got it. It's fine.
Why do you want to waste money when I'm
because you're not doing it on my timetable.
I'm pretty close to a barber.
I don't even know if that's, I don't really know if that is so much independent. She's speaking more of to like the independent thing. And I get what she's saying. But I think even women who are not the quote unquote independent woman, if I ask you to do something or I need you to do something and you're doing it on your own time, that's just the mindset. Well, don't worry about it. I'll do it myself then. Like, no biggie. I'll do it myself. I'll get it done.
But where is the cutoff between your time and a reasonable amount of time, though? And I think that's pretty different for everyone. But the problem is you're expecting me to get up and do it right now. It's almost like you're being disobedient.
No, I need this done now.
Right.
And I want you to get up and do it.
And if you don't do it right, because who else do you talk to or who do you have this frame of mindset with? You have it with your kids, a lot of people. And it's just like, if you don't get up and move right now or within this certain amount of time, then I'm upset or don't worry about it. I'm going to do it. And now you got a whole attitude.
But I'm not necessarily upset. It really is you know what? Don't worry about it. I'll handle it myself.
Right. But then sometimes that leads into an attitude, right?
Yeah, it can.
And it may not be an attitude all the time for you, but I think that this leads to problems, unnecessary arguments. But the thing is, you want it done now, but when you want it done now, do you ever take into account what the man has to do, what he has scheduled, or do you just assume that he's just a lazy person that just lays around and doesn't think? Because I can tell you one thing about me. I'm not lazy.
Not a lazy person. It's not. I don't think it is. It really is. I've asked you to do something and I see you doing something else that, in my opinion,
it's not as important.
Wait.
That's wild.
Listen, I'm being honest.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate that.
I do it at work too, though. Like, you're not gonna do this. I asked for you to do it and you haven't done it yet. Don't worry about it. I'll do it myself.
Yeah, somebody getting paid. You getting paid for that, though.
I am.
And they're getting paid to do a job.
They are.
And a lot of times you have a higher ranking system, which, that's how it works on the job. So I don't think you can really compare that. But I understand what you're saying. I know you're saying that,
it exists in other places than relationship is what I'm getting to.
Right. But if you pick up on what he said, though, you moved the refrigerator. It may not have been, moved right. You might have scuffed the floors up or did some other stuff.
But what if she did it? What if she did move it right?
I mean, what if she did? But what if she didn't?
But what if she did?
I mean, it can go either way. But
it absolutely could.
But okay.
Let's say that it did go right.
No. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But let's look at the fact. Okay, this is a refrigerator, right? Now, okay. Do you think that most women are going to be moving very, very heavy objects in the most efficient way all the time? Especially if they're not, well, go ahead. What were you about to say?
No, what were you about to finish with?
No, I was just about to say, especially when they're not used to doing things of that nature. I know she said in the video they didn't have a dad to call to move.
I think it really just depends on the person. But let's not just leave it to the refrigerator. Like, it's just, this is a general thing. Like, I've asked you to do something and you haven't done it yet.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't done it in my time frame. Mm-hmm. I don't think that this is necessarily a female thing. I think this is a personality thing. I think that people who are used to doing things on their own or being a go-getter,
mm-hmm.
What is that for?
No, I want you to finish so I can go ahead.
I think that it's a personality trait.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people I'm not going to sit around and wait on you to get something done when I can just do it myself. So don't worry about it. I'll just do it myself. It's simpler. You've heard the saying, if you want something done right, do it yourself.
I get it. And I do agree with you that it may be a personality thing, but you know why it's a personality thing? It's a personality thing because women especially make independence a whole personality trait. This is who I am. I must cut off everybody else and let everybody else know that I could do everything myself. But when you do that, you kind of close yourself off to the necessary help that you need. You think you don't need help, but let's not, fool ourselves here. Every human needs help doing something. And a lot of times when you're not really built or made to be doing certain things, then it's okay to receive help, especially from a person that's supposed to be there to help you. Now, you're saying that, it's not being done in a certain amount of time, which may be true for you, but that's also something that could be subjective. Like, did you tell him?
It's definitely subjective.
Did you tell him that, hey, I really need this done now because X, Y, Z? Are you communicating that, or are you just saying that in your head, I asked him to take out this trash and it's been 30 minutes. He know I'm in here cooking dinner and now this trash, all this kind of stuff, Why?
Facts. If I ask you to take out this trash and you know I'm in here cooking dinner, why you ain't came and took out this trash yet?
But what is he doing?
I don't know, but it's going to take you 5 minutes to come take this trash out.
You don't know, but then you also don't care what he's doing, which is...
also facts.
Right. That's kind of selfish.
It's very inconsiderate. This is true. However, I need you to do something, and in my opinion, you are being somewhat inconsiderate because you're going to eat this dinner, and I can't finish cooking if I can't put stuff in the trash.
So the funny thing about this is this doesn't typically always really work the other way around. Men don't sit around saying, oh, she didn't do what I said right at the time, so I'm just going to do it myself.
I think, again, it goes back to, one, let me backtrack a little bit. I have to agree with you. Women in general tend to take on more than we should. And we have a hard time delegating and letting stuff go. And that's with a lot of stuff because I can just do it myself. I can do it better myself. And it could be something as simple as folding the clothes. Y'all know how we get. That's not how them towels supposed to be folded.
Keep going, and I'm gonna hop back on that.
Not how the towels are folded.
Right.
I forgot where I was going.
I apologize. I did not mean to throw you off, but you just made me remember something.
Go ahead, because now I can't remember where I was going.
What you were saying, though, that's not how those towels are supposed to be folded. And that seems to be a very big problem in a lot of relationships. Women like to try to use situations like that and say that men are using what's called weaponized incompetence.
I've not heard of it.
Meaning that you're acting like you don't know how to do something just so you don't have to do it, or just so I won't ask you to do it.
I think our children use weaponized incompetence against me.
I don't think they do. I think they really don't know how to do
I'm
it.
joking.
But
Can't do nothing.
but the thing is though, you're mad at him or you're annoyed with him because you're swearing up and down that he's acting like he doesn't do it or doesn't know how to do it. But the thing is, he knows how to do it just fine. He's just doing it his way. He's not doing it your way. It's still getting done, but because you don't like the way he's doing it, it's a problem. Now that's crazy to me because this ends up going into a whole lot of different unnecessary arguments that really don't need to be had. Because imagine if someone were to do that to you.
I had this happen in college, and it was about towels.
What you mean?
My roommate.
So
in
other women
college.
doing it to other women?
Yeah,
Y'all
like,
need to
you
get this
folded
under
the
control.
towels wrong. This is how I fold towels. Well, this is how they supposed to be folded. You can't tell me how to fold towels.
She did though.
Fold my towels how I want to fold my towels.
She did though. She
But
told
this
you.
is our house, so we have to come to a compromise on how these towels are going to be folded.
100%.
And the compromise is my way.
Right. And if it's your way, then you're going to need to fold those towels. Because
You change the way you fold towels.
But see, here's the thing though. If I've been folding towels a certain way, now it's not a big deal to me to change the way to fold towels, but you
won't change the way you fold underwear though.
It's the principle anyway. It's the principle behind everything centered around this whole weaponized incompetence. If it can be changed, it's not a big deal, just to save face on an argument. But if it's becoming an overly talked about issue, then somebody needs to seek help, because at that point, is it really that serious? Like, you're becoming very controlling at this point.
This is very true. I have to I have to agree. This is real trivial what we're talking about, but it does cause issues. We got off track, but to the point of the whole towel situation, no one has a monopoly on how to fold towels.
No, they don't.
You might have your way and they might have their way, and both of them are fine.
Yes.
Okay.
The wash dishes, all that. But anyway, go ahead.
Yes. Back to
the independence.
Yes, the independence. Mm-hmm. I still think that it's a character trait. I do agree with you that independence has become a
personality.
Yes, mm-hmm. It's become a personality. I don't know that I think that there is anything horrible about it. I can see how it could be an issue. But again, I go back to, I think a lot of it has to do with, I can do this myself. Mm-hmm. And I was vulnerable by asking you to do it, and then you're not doing it in the time frame that I want. While it can be inconsiderate to you because I have not considered what you're doing and why it may be taking you long. That's not always the case. Sometimes you just laying on the couch doing nothing, and I need you to get up and do something now. But once again, it just goes back to, I can do it myself. I probably could have done it myself this whole time. I just wanted your help.
Mm-hmm. But the question is, could you possibly address it in a way that, honey, are you doing something right now?
Yes.
And
absolutely.
then lead into, okay, well, I need this done right now because I need XYZ. It's all about communication. It
is.
If you're not communicating the full extent of the issue, then how can you expect him to know what to do for you concerning that issue?
I agree. It breaks down to communication.
Right.
100%.
I mean, but you said, he can be laying down on the couch and not doing anything. What if he's resting?
He is resting.
What if something is hurting?
To do something.
I understand you need him to do something. But again, when he's not doing it in a certain time frame, it begins to become very overbearing, very controlling. And I hate to use this word, but it's been used for eons. It turns into a nagging situation. You know what I'm saying?
I said it was inconsiderate.
And I think it's great that you decided to lower that wall. It should have been lowered if you married the guy. To ask
Sometimes
him.
it's still a work in progress.
I understand. Let's keep on working at it. You know, let's keep it going. But the thing is, it's great that you let down that wall to ask that question. But along with letting down that wall, you also have to understand, like I just said a few minutes ago, that communication around the whole situation that needs to be done needs to be said. Nobody can read minds, and you need to ask other questions to figure out whether or not whatever you're asking can be done within the time frame that you need it done. I know you like to think that, well, he should just know or he should just do. No, that's not how that works. Because if he started to think that way about you, well, she should just know or she should just do, then that would be a problem. You see how the whole conversation surrounding men wanting women to cook dinner for them at certain times. You see how that conversation goes. Y'all don't like to cook dinner at certain times. So flip that situation and put yourself in that same mindset.
I don't know anything about the dinner conversation.
No, I know you don't. Well, you know how women don't like to, they feel like slaves when a man has asked them to prepare dinner for them and all this kind of stuff. I ain't your mama and all that.
But you got to eat too. We're not going to start this conversation.
No, we're not.
All right.
We're not. And I just really just would like everybody to just take a step back with this whole independence talk. Just realize it's more of a self-sufficient situation, because independent would mean you really don't need anybody. And yeah, I'm sorry for those of you that have been raised in situations where, you are forced to be in this independent mode all the time. But when you find a good man that can step into that spot and actually help you out and do the things that you are not really meant to do for yourself,
Or that you don't want to do.
or that you don't want to do for yourself, just lower those walls and allow them to help. It may not be in the same amount of time that you could do it or would prefer to do it. But if that's the case, please communicate to this man when you need it done. Make sure that he doesn't have anything going on. And yeah, you can move forward. Anything you need to say?
I don't think so. I think the key takeaway here is I personally don't necessarily think that there's anything wrong with the self-sufficient attitude. But if you're going to ask for assistance, communicate if there is a time frame and make sure he or she is not involved in something else that can't wait.
I agree. So like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.
Night.